Hello everyone, it's Refresh and I am making an Eldritch Moon sealed deck using 4 packs of Eldritch Moon and 2 packs of Shadows over Innistrad. This is the second of 2 decks that I'll be building, and then I'll be playing my customary games with them. Let's go ahead and open up these packs and see what we have inside. We have a Strange Augmentation, back with Survivalist, a Wretched Gryph, a Woodland Patrol, I don't know, I'll put this over here, a Weirded Vampire, an Enlightened Maniac, a Field Creeper, a Steadfast Cathar, a Mockery of Nature, a Long Road Home, a Chilling Grasp, a Stromkirk Occultist, Grizzled Angler, a Shiny Plains, a double face card thing, and a tip card. So far I like blue, but let's see if we can get anywhere else. Pack 2 gets us a Dawngryph, Brazen Wolves, Woodland Patrol, number 2, another Weirded Vampire, It of the Horde Swarm, an Exultant Cultist, a Borrowed Hostility, Cathar Shield, Lunarch Mantle, Geist-Fueled Scarecrow, a Weaver of Lightning, a Subjugator Angel, a Bloodhall Priest. There's a lot of madness in this set. A Conduit of Storms, then a Wolf Token and tip card, the double face card thing. We have a Waxing Moon, a Borrowed Grace, so another Woodland Patrol, another Weirded Vampire, a Primal Druid, a Convolute, a Make Mischief, a Terrarion, an Emrakul's Influence, a Haunted Dead, a Noose Constrictor, a Stromkirk Condemned, a Shrill Howler, and a Docent of Perfection, and an Eldrazi Horror, and a double face card thing. We have yet another Wretched Gryph, a Galvanic Bombardment, a Strange Augmentation, a Bloodbriar, a Woodland Patrol, yet another Woodland Patrol, another Borrowed Hostility, a Contingency Plant, a Thermo Alchemist, a Fiend Binder, a Nebelgast Herald, another Subjugator Angel, a Crop Sigil, a Niblis of Frost, an Ulvimol Captive, a Zombie Token, and a double face card thing. From Shadows over Innistrad, we are going back to a Furtive Homunculus, an Angelic Purge, a Vessel of Paramnesia, an Ethereal Guidance, a Drownyard Explorers, a Moldgraph Scavenger, a Fork in the Road, a Throttle, a Briarbridge Patrol, an Invasive Surgery, a Wildfield Scarecrow, a Silver Fur Partisan, a Duskwatch Recruiter, a Pour Over Pages, a Shiny Pour Over Pages, a Plains and a Zombie token. And finally, the last of the packs, also from Shadows over Innistrad, gets us a Lamplighter of Selhoff, a Puncturing Light, a Sleep Paralysis, a Hound of the Farbogs, a Senseless Rage, an Explosive Apparatus, a Vessel of Nascency, a Vessel of Malignity, an Uncaged Fury, a Weirding Wood, a Dissension in the Ranks, a Silver Strike, a Descend upon the Sinful, wow, a Neglected Heirloom, interesting, a double face card, and a clue. Alright, let's ditch all these cards as well as the lands and even the shiny land and see what we have here. Okay, it looks like green and blue are the heavies, but let's go through everything and see what's good. Alright, board wipe. Wrath is quite good, especially if you can get an angel after it. We have removal in Silver Strike, removal in Puncturing Light. Both are pretty good. We have a Ethereal Guidance, which is not especially good. An Angelic Purge, which is also a removal. We have a threat in Subjugator Angel. Fiendbinder is just a dude. And not a bad dude. He can create some sort of hard blocking situation by removing a blocker. Barred Grace is not especially good, but it's versatile at least. Subjugator Angel, Lunarch Mantle is pretty bad. Dawngryph is fairly good. Long Road Home it can be good depending on what's going on. Steadfast Cather is just a dude. White actually seems fairly decent just because it has threats. It's not a color in it and of itself, but it has threats, some guys, and some removal. Doesn't look bad. Blue, we have Sleep Paralysis. It is removal. Lamplighter of Selhoff is not especially good. Pour Over Pages it's not bad. It is kind of card draw and it's shiny. Invasive Surgery is pretty bad. Drownyard Explorers is not terrible. I would say it's not much better than Lamplighter, but can be, because at least it can draw a card. Vessel is not terribly good. Furtive Homunculus is just a guy, not especially good. Niblis of Frost is pretty good. It has the capacity to win games thanks to its bigness and its abilities. We also have another evasive creature in Nebelgast Herald. A contingency plan is not terribly good. It can do things towards the end game, but I think I would only want one. We have a bomb in the Docent of Perfection. Convolute is a defensive spell as a counter. Still not bad. I would keep it as a maybe. Extant Cultist works really well with those Wretched Gryphs. And as a guy, it's not terrible just by itself. So I think it's a maybe. Certainly better than the Furtive Homunculus, the Drownyard Explorers, and friends. Grizzled Angler is not bad either. As a guy, it can just get big. So I think Grizzled Angler is also a maybe. Pretty good body. A Chilling Grasp is decent tempo, but not amazing. I'll put it towards the bottom. Enlightened Maniac is quite good with, in a similar way that the, what do you call it? The 2/2 that dies and draws a card. The Exultant Cultist is. So I'll put him right there too. Goes well with the Wretched Gryphs, as well as the blue-green Eldrazi as well. So I like blue. Blue has a bit going on. It doesn't have any removal, which is the downside of blue, but it has quite a bit going on for it. Black, Vessel of Malignity is kind of card advantage. It's okay, I guess. The Hound of Farbogs is not great. Throttle's good. The Strange Augmentation I would not count as especially good. Stormkirk Condemned, I think it's a draft rare. I think it needs too many vampires for it to get good, so I'm going to count that as even worse than Hound of the Farbogs. Haunted Dead is pretty good as a guy, because you can keep getting it back. Weirded Vampire is merely okay. It's a hill giant that can get a discount if you can discard it. I would count that as not especially good, and I have 3 of them. So black looks pretty weak. Aside from the one Throttle and the Haunted Dead, there's not a lot really drawing me into it. Let's check out red. We have Dissension in the Ranks, which is pretty good. It can actually get rid of 2 creatures with 1 fell swoop. Uncaged Fury is a decent combat trick. Senseless Rage is it's not especially good unless you can madness it in, so I won't really count that. Thermal Alchemist is an archetype that you need to support. We have an okay combat trick in Borrowed Hostility, removal in Galvanic Bombardment. Make Mischief is not especially good. It's a little slow. Conduit of Storms is a mana creator. I think it's a fairly decent creature. When it transforms, it also generates more mana. I won't say that it's amazing though. I think it's just a decent creature that can do some things. So I'll put it here. Weaver of Lightning is sort of dependent on this spell casting business. Borrowed Hostility is not especially good. Brazen Wolves is okay. It's not great. I'll put it with a Weaver of Lightning. Stormcook Occultist, I think, is not bad. It's a potential combat advantage, or card advantage, but it's not especially good either. You have to get it through. It'll probably only get a 1 hit through if it gets any hit through at all. You can madness it into play, but it's not especially good even if you madness it into play. So it's just a guy with upside. Red is not especially good, I would say, overall. I mean, it does have a Galvanic Bombardment, and it has some okay guys, but overall, I don't think this is a color that I'm going to be considering. I mean, there is the Bloodhawk Priest, which can work with both of these, again, with Madness, but I don't have any Madness outlets. There's nothing that really forces me to discard here, so it doesn't seem like a good fit overall. In green, we have Weirding Wood as a way of correcting for color. We have Vessel of Nascency as a way of turning on Delirium. Duskwatch Recruiter is a good creature. It has the chance of creating card draws, so I like that. Silverfur Partisan is a pretty good creature as well, because if it's targeted, it leaves behind a buddy. So I like both of these creatures. Briarbridge Patrol is also a fairly good creature because it can generate card advantage. So all these green creatures are good. Fork in the Road is a chance. It's fixing of a sort. I wouldn't say it's quite as good as Weirding Wood, but it's not bad. Moldgraph Scavenger is only good as long as Delirium is turned on. It's possible to turn it on because we have some of these cards. Overmaul Captive is a good ramp card, like Weirding Wood. Crop Sigil is I don't know. It's a chance of turning on. It has a chance of turning on Delirium. I think it's a maybe if I have enough Delirium stuff. I don't really have a lot, so I think it really just falls under the maybe scenario. We have a bunch of Woodland Patrols, which are decent dudes if I need dudes. The Bloodbriar is only good if I'm sacrificing. Unfortunately, I do have a bit of sacrifice going on with these guys, so I think the Bloodbriar raises itself in usefulness here. We have a Shrill Howler, which is fairly good. It can transform, so it has late game power. I think that's a pretty good creature to have. And 3 power for 3 mana is 3 power for 3 mana is not bad. Noose Constrictor is the guy that these all want, but without it, I don't know how good it is. I guess as a 2/2, it's not bad either. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe category. Emrakul's Influence, Eldrazi spell with mana cost 7 or greater, which is not a lot. There's 4 spells if I play blue and green, and I don't think that's enough to play this card. So I will count this as a no. Primal Druid is ramp / capacity to be the creature that we need. Waxing Moon is not good at all for this deck. We have more Woodland Patrols, a backwoods survivalist. It has the potential to get stronger and trample. It's okay. I mean, 4 mana for a 4/3 is better than a Hill Giant and can be even better than that, so I think it's an okay creature. It looks like green is a really good... Again, green doesn't have a lot of removal, but it's quite good overall. And we have also the Wretched Gifts, which are great. And then we also have these creatures as well that have potential. So I think green and blue is kind of the obvious play here. I know that we have good removal in white, and white is tempting as a result, but I think green and blue just play better together. Again, there's not a lot of removal. I would say nearly no removal, or really any tricks amongst this pack, but I think it might be good enough just in itself, and then we have some tempo choices here to play without any of the white or the red or black. So let's go ahead and go green and blue, and we'll see what we can get from there. As much as I want to play Descent Upon the Sinful and all the removal, but I think overall this the green and the blue, is a bit stronger. So we'll remove white, we'll remove black, we'll remove red, and see what kind of deck we can build. There's going to be a lot of options here, I can feel it. Okay. Green is quite thick. We have It of the Horde Swarm, which is not amazing, and the Mockery of Nature, which is actually not bad. Its second ability is not the best, but it can be fairly well discounted. So we're going to put these at the bottom and keep them as maybes. Primal Druid, pretty good. Definitely playing that. I'm 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 playing that. This is where we hit the maybes, so we'll see. Let's come back to it. Pretty sure we're playing these Wretched Gryphs. Of all the Eldrazi, they are probably the best. We have Sleep Paralysis, which I'm going to need just for removal. Docent of Perfection is definitely in, because it is a boss. Niblis of Frost is in, it's a boss. I'm going to be playing that 2/1 flyer for certain. The Pour Over Pages is a maybe. Exultant Cultist is certainly, I'm probably going to be playing that. Probably going to be playing that. Drownyard Explorers is a maybe. Lamplighter is a maybe. Furtive Homunculus is probably not. Drownyard Explorers leave something behind. I think that's fairly good. I don't think I have enough zombies amongst this batch to play the Selhoff, Lamplighter of Selhoff. Yeah, I don't think there's enough here. No. Lamplighter Selhoff is no. Furtive Homunculus is no. Convolute is probably, just because I don't have a lot of options here. Chilling Grasp is also probably. The Contingency Plan, I don't think so. Invasive Surgery is no, and Vessel is no. So we're actually really low on spells here. There's not a lot that will get us anywhere. No removal, really. And we do have some options for fixing, but I've put in all the ramp. I don't think I'm going to play any of these 4 Woodland Patrols, because I have all the 3 drops in the world, which means that this Weirding Wood is not especially good either. Backwood Survivalist might be okay if I have enough reason to play them. The Noose Constrictor is probably not that good compared to those 3. So, looking at these big bosses at the end, I think there's enough creatures that I might want to sacrifice to get these effects out of that. I'll see what I can do here. Alright, are there a lot of Transformers? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if that's good enough for the Neglected Heirloom. It's a maybe though. 5 is a surprisingly high number. Explosive Apparatus I'll probably just have to play because it's removal. The Scarecrow is a maybe. It doesn't ramp, but it does get some things. The Geist-Fueled Scarecrow makes my creatures more expensive. I don't think that it is worth it. I don't think my deck is aggressive enough for this. So you're out. Terrarion's probably out. It's not really ramp. It's fixing of a sort. And so is the Field Creeper. I don't think I'm really trying that hard to get Delirium. I have what? Do I have any Delirium cards? No, no Delirium. So things that enable Delirium are not useful for this deck. Right. So Wildfield Scarecrow, probably not. Cather Shield, probably not. Field Creeper, probably not. I think Neglected Heirloom is the only maybe of the artifacts, leaving us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total amongst this bunch. And I'm not 100% sold on Portal Pages because it does only draw 2 cards for 5 mana. And yet, it untaps 2 lands, so you can cast something else, but I don't know that that's good enough. Let's see what we have in terms of creatures. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Really, we're almost at the deck. So, and these are all going to get discounted by maybe 3 or more. So even this 8 is really just a 5. And I think we want to keep all these as a result. The Wretched Gryphs are especially good because a 3 that becomes a 3 casting cost that draws a card is particularly good. So I don't think I'm going to take any of these other green cards. I think I'm going to go with this -1 card, and I'm not sure, 100% sure on which ones I'm going to minus. The werewolves and these other guys cost money to flip, or cost mana to flip. I don't know that the Neglected Heirloom is good enough to equip it to it. But then it becomes quite good once it does flip. Well, not terribly good, but it does fairly good. So it's a maybe. Sleep Paralysis is a definitely. I think I need the Explosive Apparatus, the Convolute, and the Chilling Grasp just to stay in. So really I just have to decide between one of these two, or maybe dropping a creature. Of these creatures, Silver for Partisan is probably the weakest just because there's not a terrible lot that it can do. But it does synergize with the Shrill Howler, the Ulvenwold Captive, and the Duskwatch Recruiter. So there's that as well. I think that we do want to keep these creatures. So I don't think I want to get rid of any of these 3-drops. They all have particularly useful uses, and I don't think I want to get rid of any of these. So I think the creature set is set, unless I want to drop maybe one of these. Perhaps It of the Horde Swarm or Mockery of Nature. Mockery of Nature does seem like, well, it's big, and that has that going for it, and it could destroy an artifact or enchantment, but is there an artifact or enchantment that I would want to destroy? And It of the Horde Swarm is also not especially compelling because it puts 2 green 1/1 insect creatures, so it's 3 bodies with 6 power and 6 toughness altogether, but it costs 4 mana. Well, that's still a pretty good deal. I lose a creature, but I'll get something else for it. And some of these creatures are designed to be lost, like the Primal Druid, the Exultant Cultist, the Enlightened Maniac. Even the Drownyard Explorers is something that I could absolutely ditch. So I kind of like all of these. I definitely want that because creating tokens is good. There are not a lot of instants and sorceries. I have 2 instants and 1 sorcery. But if I can get 3 or more wizards, it does turn bigger. But even if it never turns bigger, a 5/4 flyer is nothing to scoff at. Flipping it over would be insane. So, there's the question. are any of these, which is the card that I should really consider getting rid of? I also think Weirding Wood is not bad, but again, ramp in a field of super crowded with 3-drops, I don't think is good enough. Right? Even with the card draw attached to it with the Investigate. So the card to get rid of. I'm feeling like it's a Neglected Heirloom. I think it's probably the correct choice, because the chance of it flipping, even though there's 5 creatures that can flip, the Docent is unlikely to flip. I would need to cast every single sorcery or instant. The others will take a while to flip, except for maybe the Duskwatch Recruiter. And I don't think it's relying on that is not good. So I'm going to get rid of the Neglected Heirloom. And yeah, everything else I don't think is worth playing. The Geistfield Scarecrow, especially not so much. So this is the deck, I believe. I don't think either Invasive Surgery or Contingency Plan are worth playing, neither the Furtive Homunculus. So I think I play this deck. Again, the Docent is really just a 5/4 flyer. It's good just like that. If I happen to cast these 3 spells, it'll flip, but I absolutely not thinking that something that's going to happen for certain. Instead, it's just a creature deck. Instants and sorceries, again, that's not going to come into play here, but a 3/3 flying for 4 is a pretty good deal, even if I never cast any instants or sorceries with it. Alright, let's go for it. Let's see what kind of lands we will need in this deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blue icons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 green icons. So with no fixing land and double blues going on, I think we will want 17 lands in the form of 10 islands and 7 forests, because I have some double blues but I don't have any double greens. So, and this will add additional green mana as well, and it as well as become useful in the late game by turning into an even bigger creature. So I think this is a deck that I'm going to go with. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you'd play, if you do things differently. I know that white was very tempting. If you enjoyed this video, hit like. If you would like to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. This was Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.